This is a Steckline communication station, K273CX, FM 102.5, and AM 1480 KQAM, Wichita Proud. It's time for your latest news from the KQAM News Center. Brought to you by Phil's Coins, Kansas's largest coin dealer at 9344 West Central. Phil's Coins, buying, selling, and trading with honesty and integrity.
Good afternoon, I'm Andy Hooser. Well, just a few days after the Wind Surge's opening day for baseball season, General Manager and Executive Vice President Jared Forma put in his resignation. And while it may be a surprise for many fans of the Wind Surge, the organization says it was anticipated, as he mentioned that he was unhappy for a while, but promised to get the team to opening day. The question now remains, what's next?
It's not going to affect the day-to-day operation on the field.
Obviously, the front office is going to have to do some scrambling and adjusting to make up for the loss.
That audio from Cake News. Wichita Mayor Brandon Whipple says that he didn't realize that Forma was resigning, but says he believes the team already had a plan in place to move forward. In other news, with activities opening back up after the COVID-19 pandemic, local horse stables are offering horseback riding camps for students over the summertime.
It's a 5-day camp. Monday through Friday from 8 to 12. During the course of the camp, beginner kids learn the basics of how to ride a horse, how to be safe around a horse.
That audio from KWCH News. That's the latest news. Now let's go to sports.
The Wichita Wind Surge won their 7th game of the season last night against the Amarillo Sod Poodles 9-8, coming back from a 6-run deficit early in the game. They'll finish off their series against Amarillo this weekend with games running tonight, tomorrow, and Sunday. The Wichita State Shocker baseball team just won their series against UCF and will now turn their attention to Southern Florida, taking on an important 4-game series starting today. Following that, they will be taking on Memphis next weekend. From the KGSO Sports Desk, I'm Adam Cook.
Here's Jesse Soria with a personal invitation for you.
Hi, this is Jesse from Cholitas. I am personally inviting you to come in and experience Cholitas. It's been the life work of my bride, Linda, and I for over 30 years. We have raised our family in this restaurant, and we like to think that we treat you just like family. Cholitas Mexican Restaurant, open 6 days a week, Monday through Saturday.
Cholitas, Central and Tyler. Sharon and Jared at Derby Mattress, 105 South Baltimore and Derby, have a huge inventory right now. And that adds up to great selection for you. And it's not just one size, twin, full, queen, king, a huge selection for you, and that's good news. But as the pandemic has affected many businesses, some suppliers have indicated that they may raise their prices. Derby Mattress's inventory, already in stock, will stay at those low prices until sold out. Take advantage now. Huge selection, great prices, Derby Mattress.
New year, new budgets. Every small business has unique needs. When you partner with a Dell Small Business Technology Advisor, you get real-time, tailored advice. They'll even give you a free audit on your servers and storage devices to develop a custom solution to help improve your company's productivity. Plus, right now, upgrade to Windows 10 and get up to 45% off select business computers with Intel Core processors. To speak with a Dell advisor, call 877-BY-DELL. That's 877-BY-DELL.
Market information, Mid-America Ag Network, looking at Kansas and Oklahoma's closing cash grain bids. It's Friday, May 14th. We saw some downward pressure on corn and wheat in the futures markets. We saw some downward pressure on the corn and wheat in the cash grains, too. Soybeans held on. Let's take a look at the numbers. We'll start in Oklahoma today. We'll start at Ponca City, where the wheat finished at $6.35, the corn $6.60, Milo $6.79, beans $15.76. At Enid, the wheat $6.53, corn $6.64, Milo $7.09, beans $15.96. At Panhandle Hooker, the wheat finished at $6.42, the corn $7.13, Milo $6.93, soybeans $15.46. Let's jump to Kansas now. Belleville, $6.45 on the wheat, $6.38 on the corn, $6.05 on Milo, and $15.56 for soybeans. At Fredonia, $6.57 for the wheat, $6.78 for corn, $6.43 on Milo, $15.82 on soybeans. Out west, Garden City, the wheat closed at $6.40, corn $7.04, Milo $6.54, and soybeans $15.56. Sumner County, $6.33 on the wheat, $6.64 on corn, $6.29 on Milo, and $15.81 on soybeans. Concordia, 655 is where the wheat landed, 648 on corn, 615 on milo, and 1566 on soybeans. And our last stop today is Goodland, 611 on the wheat, 675 for corn, 660 on milo, and 1576 on soybeans. Grab the calculator to do some math. Here we go with averages. 641 the average across Kansas and Oklahoma on wheat, unchanged from yesterday. The corn finished at 671 on the average. That's down 31. Milo is at 654 across the two states. That's down 30. And soybeans finished with an average of $15.70 across Oklahoma and Kansas. That is up 3. So soybeans had a little better day. Wheat unchanged. Corn down 31. Milo down 30. Soybeans up 3. Kansas and Oklahoma closing cash grain bids for Friday. Mid-America Ag Network.
Your local weather on KQAM. Brought to you by Derby Mattress. No dancing animals, no gimmicks. Your locally owned hometown mattress store at 105 South Baltimore in Derby.
The possibility of a shower or storm will persist through the afternoon today in Wichita with daytime highs in the mid-70s, south wind 10 to 20, gusts to 30. The shower and storm chances, they'll pick up tonight as we head into early Saturday. Overnight low near 58. Off and on showers and storms, a possibility right on through the weekend with highs in the mid-70s. With your forecast, I'm Cake meteorologist Frank Waugh.
That's your latest Cake First Alert weather update on the Big Talker, KQAM.
At 4:06, it's currently 74 degrees.
Fighting for freedom every day.
They are absolutely desperate to pretend the last 4 years never happened and for them to go back to what they liked to do before, which is create these massive spending bills to pretend that it's really, really important to you when you only get about 5% of what's in the bill, and they can't do it because we're aware of it. We're paying attention to it, and they don't like that.
This is the Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
What a day it's been. It is the end of the week. You finally made it. Congratulations. As we go into the weekend, broadcasting live out of the heart of the nation here in Wichita, Kansas, on our flagship radio station, all over the country on radio, TV, and our live streaming, plus our podcasting thereafter as well. Welcome in your Millennial General reporting for duty, like we do every other day of the week as well. You can find us on our social media, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch.tv, ourfreedombook.com, Instagram, TikTok, doesn't matter. We're on all of them at Hooser Reason, plus our website at HooserReason.com. We got some fun stuff to talk about today. I had to start it off today. I'm starting to lose hope in humanity. I go on these roller coasters up and down. There's some days where I'm really, really happy, and I'm like, wow, we might be able to advance as a human race and actually do something creative and do something awesome and do really good. And then there are days where I'm like, I don't understand how people even figure out how to tie their shoes in the morning. It's kind of a roller coaster thing right now. But right now, I'm kind of on the low end. I'm like, I'm not sure how we even put our pants on at the beginning of the day, or how we even get to work in the morning without losing our minds or having complete backups all over our highways. Oh, that's right, we actually do. I'm watching some of these pictures and looking at pictures of people during this gas shortage on the East Coast, which is unfortunate. It's sad. The fact that we were held hostage for the pipeline. They paid, $5 million to open it back up, so it's actually up. It's functioning again. It's moving, but there's a gas shortage. They're expecting a few weeks before it actually gets back to normal capacity. They're saying, until then, they're looking at some of these gas shortages as $7 to $8 a gallon for gas. For you to purchase it. They're at the Washington, D.C. areas, at a 90% usage, which means they only have 10% of the reserves left. They're kind of panicking. So I'd like to remind everybody who hates pipelines, welcome to the world that you've created, because that's what you actually want. I find that ironic. Number two, watching people panic, which we saw it this last year as well with the COVID-19 pandemic, where people went out and just bought a crap ton of toilet paper. I shake my head, because I'm one, as you know, where I'm not necessarily a doomsday prepper, but I like to be prepared. Here in the state of Kansas, we used to have, under the former Republican Governor Sam Brownback, we used to have the Zombie Apocalypse Preparedness Month for the month of October, which was essentially, hey, it's a state that has a lot of tornadoes, or we have droughts, or we have power outages. It's kind of a rural state. Not sure if you're aware of that, but just in case you lose power, or there's a big snowstorm or ice storm, or there's a tornado, or things tear up, you need to be prepared. You need to have some food stocked up, need to have some water supplies, need to have some things in your vehicle, need to have some extra clothing, you need to have some guns, you need to have some whatever. I mean, there's just things that you can do for basic preparation. So when the COVID-19 pandemic hit, I wasn't too concerned. We were in the middle of moving because we had just moved back here from Kansas from the state of Ohio at that time, like 2 weeks before everything locked down. So we were kind of stuck in a kind of a limbo place right there. But nonetheless, we were still prepared. I wasn't too terribly worried because we're prepared. We already have that preparedness mindset. If things happen, this is what you do. This is how you get food. This is how you get water. To me, my mind's always racing that way because you never know what's going to happen. I don't know why that's a bad thing or why you're conspiratorial if you live that way, because you're just prepared. I was in the Boy Scouts. Be prepared. That's the Scout motto. That's what you do. This gas shortage is something different, to say the least. I'm looking at some pictures, and I don't know if you've seen some of these. You can just Google funny pictures from gas shortage. And the things that people do, I don't know how they tie their shoes in the morning. I don't know how they survive on a day-to-day basis. I don't know if they know not to eat the crayons. And this is one of those lower days for me personally where I'm just struggling to understand how humanity has survived as far as it has. There are some people that have actually had, the barrels, and they try and fill the barrels full of gas. All right, you know what? A little excessive. It's going to be all right. And if you run out of gas and you don't have any gas for your vehicles, then oh my God. We're already in a COVID pandemic where, most people are working from home anyway. So if you run out of gas, it just makes you another excuse to stay at home in your jammies or, in pantless free or pant free or something. I mean, I'd be okay with that as well, having to get up and go to work every day. Good golly. Number two, I've seen some where there's ridiculous pictures of people, by the way, wearing masks when there's no one else around. You don't have to do that anymore. You got your vaccine. I don't know what changed there, but you don't have to do that anymore. But they put in this pump is out of service, and they're literally putting that pump out of service with the yellow baggie on the handle that says this pump is out of service, putting it in their car. Yes, I've seen those. I've seen the ones where they're literally filling up grocery bags and trash bags full of gasoline and putting them in the back of their car. Let me repeat that for you, for those that may be on the slow end of the aisle here, that people are filling up grocery bags and garbage plastic bags full of gasoline as a liquid, tying it off and putting it in their back seat because they're so desperate to try and take as much gasoline as you can. Of course, the people that have the gas canisters as well, Tupperware buckets, just the big, you put storage in it, Tupperware buckets. Yeah, those kind of things. It's ridiculous to see how desperate these people are. It's kind of ironic. Now, of course, I have a couple gas canisters. I would probably go and fill those up. That's cool. Filling your filling grocery bags and trash bags full of gasoline takes it to another level of stupid. I'm just throwing it out there. There are probably ones that would smoke as well in the car and then flip out the cigarette butt onto the road. I mean, then I saw one, and I don't know if it's true. I really hope it's not. I shared the meme on Facebook because it was kind of entertaining to me. But there was one lady that said, don't put diesel into your vehicle, into your Prius or other cars that take gas. I just thought it would make my engine louder. But in fact, I'm sitting here waiting for AAA. I can't imagine people being that dumb. But at the same time, with the other pictures I've seen, I wouldn't put it past them anymore. So today's one of those lower days where I'm just like, wow, humanity really is not going to survive a whole lot longer. At the same time, yesterday we talked, and we kind of wrapped up the program with it, where we talk about humanity not surviving and not the most commonsensical things coming out of the mouths of individuals. We played a clip from the press secretary, Psaki, who talked about the CPI, the Consumer Price Index, inflation going up and prices of goods going up. And this was the response officially from the Biden administration on why prices of goods are getting more expensive as inflation jumped by 4.2%, the fastest in a one-month growth than we've seen since 2008.
Over the last couple of days, to your point, some reaction to the CPI numbers that came out just yesterday. And, our view on that is it reflects the reality of an economy that's rapidly turning back on because of a successful economic strategy. And if you dig into the data, there are a couple of factors at play that I think people are taking a look at now that we've dug into the data more.
That's right. We've dug into the data and we've looked at really good things, and we've seen that it's actually a really good thing because the economy is coming back up from positive economic policy that the Biden administration's passing. So the fact that goods are getting more expensive is a really good thing because the economy is coming back. That's what they said. No, you just heard it right there. That's exactly what they said. Now, here's another story to tie into that as well from the Associated Press. Retail sales were flat in April as stimulus spending wanes. I love the excuse that the AP gives as well. Not because of inflation prices going up, not because things are getting more expensive, not because people are going back to work or refusing to go back to work because now we have a worker shortage with all the jobs available and no one wanting to go back because of the unemployment benefits from the federal government and the stimulus payments that are coming in. But according to the Associated Press, retail sales in the U.S. were flat in April after soaring in March. Many Americans received their $1,400 stimulus checks that boosted spending. But the report that came out on Friday last week from the U.S. Commerce Department was worse than 0.8% than the 0.8% rise that Wall Street had analyzed. In fact, it wasn't all bad. March's numbers were revised upwards to 10.7% of Americans started receiving a third round of stimulus paychecks that month, helping retail sales soar. Now, I don't know about you. I don't know what you did with your stimulus payments. It's none of my business. What I did personally with my stimulus payment when I got mine was I applied it towards debt because I want to pay off things so that way I'm less dependent on things because that's just what I do. I did invest in a few things, as in like upgrading a few things that broke at my home, but nonetheless, that's what we did. There's nothing wrong with that. But they stimulate these things by giving you cash. That's inflating, by the way, causing inflation. We raise the value or lower the value of the dollar. We raise printing of the dollar because we're just giving you money that's backed by our taxpayers. So we're paying ourselves, essentially. We get that money. We stimulate the economy. But when it's all gone, they expect that to just maintain. I don't understand why this is why this isn't common sense. If you give them an extra check, sure, they're going to spend it into the consumer market. But then it flatlines because then they're out of the money. Now you need to go back to work and get more money so you can continue to do that. But we saw a major spike, and the economy, by the way, and the media and the Democrats and the progressives, they loved it. Look at that. The economy's coming back under Joe Biden. Look at that. Donald Trump's economy not nearly as good as what Joe Biden does. Look, we have a faster pace of recovery under Joe Biden than what we did Donald J. Trump because look at that. Consumer prices or consumer spending back up. People are spending money again after the COVID-19 stimulus paychecks. Now that the paychecks are gone, the retail sales and the sales tax flatlined for the government, and they're panicking. And yet we're saying that the rise in prices is actually a good thing because then you can spend more money on fewer items, and that's good for the economy.
Over the last couple of days, to your point, some reaction to the CPI numbers that came out just yesterday. And, you know, our view on that is it reflects the reality of an economy that's rapidly turning back on because of a successful economic strategy.
Yeah. Now, you know what this is going to mean? It means that they're going to flatline and they're going to say, well, look, the economy's not coming back as quickly as we thought. I mean, this is looking in the future. This is exactly what they want to do. That the economy's not coming back as quickly as we thought. We did the stimulus payments in March. We saw retail sales go up. People are spending money. Inflation's going up, which means it's more expensive, which now we're going to say, well, we need to increase the COVID-19 unemployment benefits because that means people can't quite afford to live anymore after the inflation rate, meaning the lowering of the value of the dollar. The price of the good didn't go up. The value of the good didn't go up. Just it takes more money to purchase that same item because of inflation and the value of the dollar going down. The stock market took a hiccup a few days ago. It's trying to creep back up there and it's trying to recover. But what this means is that we need another round of stimulus payments and we need to extend the unemployment COVID-19 benefits, the additional benefits on top of regular unemployment benefits. We need to extend those and we need another round of stimulus payments. Oh, and by the way, starting in July, in case you've forgotten, if you have any kids left at home as dependents, you're going to get that child tax credit in the amount of $250 to $300 a month automatically injected into your bank account every single month in a month and a half from now. Why? Because if we can extend that and then we extend the benefits and then we give you another round of stimulus payments, then guess what? Consumer spending will go through the roof, baby. And we can praise everybody and talk about how great the spending is for consumer items and how great it is for people spending money in this nation. And look how quickly our economy is recovering because they're spending more money. Now, it takes more money to buy the item, but they're spending more money because of that. Because they have all this extra money. And then that's going to be the next step of, well, let's just do this permanently. You know what's coming. You know what's going to happen. You know they're going for the, they're going full on socialist already crazy at the federal level. They're going to be conditioning you, as we've been saying, for that universal basic income. The child tax credit on a monthly basis. The extension of the unemployment benefits where you don't have to go to work. If you're not going to work, you're not getting any money. You can't spend on consumeristic items, which means you can't grow the GDP or grow the economy. So let's just give you some money to continue to do that. We'll have the child tax credit. And by the way, the retail sales flattened. The economy's not doing well again. That's right. People aren't spending as much money. The economy still hasn't yet to come back from COVID-19. We need just another stimulus package. We need the American Families package. We need the infrastructure package. That way we can boost the economy. All of it, by the way, spending more at the federal level, continuously lowering the value at that dollar until it's worth absolutely zero, zilch, nada.
The Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
Hey, it's Andy Hooser with the Voice of Reason. Fighting for conservative principles seems more difficult all the time. The progressive left seems to find new and creative ways to limit freedom, abuse power, and trample the Constitution each and every day. That's why we need the knowledge, resources, and common sense to push back, and we can help with that. Visit our website at HooserReason.com. There's some really great stuff for you. You can read the latest blog discussing topical issues and current events. Let us know your thoughts by filling out our monthly survey. Keep track of what I might be doing or where I may be speaking. Listen to the podcast of your favorite guest or show, and check out our latest Voice of Reason product infomercials. Plus, you can find upcoming show schedules and guest lineups to plan your radio listening appropriately. And finally, make sure to become a Hoosier-holic by subscribing to the free newsletter. Stay up to date on the latest news of the show, fun facts of the month, and learn new ways to defend and preserve this great republic. It's all there at HooserReason.com. Again, HooserReason.com. Go check it out. Why? Because it's kind of the reasonable thing to do. Hey, it's Andy Hooser. Want to reach out to the show? A big part of the program is you, and we want to hear from you. Let us know your thoughts of the show, maybe a guest we've had on the program, or my favorite, when you disagree with something that I talk about. You can email me at HooserMediaNetwork@gmail.com or send us a message through our website at HooserReason.com. The show's not about me, it's about you. So be heard and be your own voice of reason. Again, email me at HooserMediaNetwork@gmail.com or find our contact information at HooserReason.com. Miss part of the show? Don't worry about it. There's plenty of ways to catch the program, and here's how you can do it. First, make sure to tune in every day right here on your favorite radio station. We're here for you. Second, subscribe to the podcast on any of your favorite sites. YouTube and iTunes, Spotify and Google Play, TuneIn, Podbean, and more. Have the show automatically downloaded to your favorite device. Last, visit our website at HooserReason.com. You can listen to the podcast, catch our special features, and more. It's the Voice of Reason on radio, TV, and online, helping you defend and preserve this great republic. Hey, it's Andy Hooser with the Voice of Reason. The show's growing all the time, and as we talk about the big issues of the day, one of the big parts of the program is you. And I want you to join us on the program. Whether you agree, disagree, or just want to relieve some of that political frustration, we're here for you. No matter where you may be watching, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, go ahead and leave a comment on the live stream. Chat with other listeners and let me know your thoughts on the topic. Also chat with us on the Podbean chat room. Just go to our live stream of the show at podbean.com and chat with other listeners. You can also call into the program. Just download the Podbean app onto your smartphone, join the live stream, and call in through the app. This is your show, and we want to hear your thoughts. So go ahead and join us here on the Voice of Reason and the Hooser Media Network. Hey, miss a show? Don't worry about it. You have plenty of opportunities to watch, listen, learn, and be entertained with the Voice of Reason anytime you want. And here's how you can do it. First, become a Hoosier-holic by going to HooserReason.com and signing up for the show newsletter to get the latest on the show, upcoming guests, topical discussions, and more. Next, subscribe to the podcast and have the show automatically downloaded to any platform you like to use. You can subscribe through any of your favorite platforms with iTunes and Spotify, Google Play and TuneIn, or you can also go and subscribe directly to our Podbean website. Last, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Just go to youtube.com, search Hooser Reason, and subscribe to watch all of our shows, videos, and get notified whenever we're live. All the links and info are at HooserReason.com. For a schedule of upcoming guests on the program, daily show topics, or to reach out to the Hooser Media Network, visit us on the website at HooserReason.com. Or for general inquiries, to be a guest on the program, or to have Andy a guest on your program, email us at HooserMediaNetwork@gmail.com. Keep fighting for freedom with us every day right here on the Voice of Reason and the Hooser Media Network. Now, back to the show.
You're listening to the Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
Darn right you are. Welcome back into the program. 24 minutes past the hour. Thanks for hanging out, especially on a Friday. It's a Friday afternoon for many individuals. Friday evening, get to enjoy a little bit going into the weekend. Hopefully you don't have to work for the weekend, and we have a heck of a lineup for you next week here on the show. Make sure to not miss that one. Can you believe we are halfway through the month of May? We have Memorial Day just a few weeks away, and summertime officially starts. Hard to believe. Welcome back in radio and TV, plus the live streaming, podcasting as well. If you have any comments, positive or negative, about the show, you can always email me at HooserMediaNetwork@gmail.com. That's HooserMediaNetwork@gmail.com. I love getting emails. I'll read some of them on the air. I get a lot that I don't read on the air just because there's no reason. But if you have any good points or any questions or anything, I will answer those, as we do have our mailbox section here on the show. And we do that. So you can always email me. I've gotten some like, Andy, you have no idea what you're talking about. All right, cool. Explain why. We'll even have you on as a guest to debate it, because I love to do that as well. For example, I got a comment over the break saying, Andy, there will be no crash. There will be no crash. You are an idiot. You don't know what you're talking about. There will be no economic crash. Okay, let's break it down, shall we? We have already $23, $24, $25 trillion in debt as a nation. We spent more money than we ever had in a 6-month stint for the first 6 months of the fiscal year for this year at the federal level. That was before, by the way, the Joe Biden $6 trillion between the $2 trillion for the COVID package, the $2 trillion for the infrastructure package, the $2 trillion for the families package. That would be $6 trillion on top of that. That's going to lower the value of the dollar. People aren't working because unemployment benefits are too sweet right now. Then we see at the same time, we're just going to pawn it off to the younger generation, right? The future generations will be the ones to handle this issue. They can deal with it. Until then, we're going to live nicely and live luxuriously here, right? Well, then we see a story here, according to MSN.com, a blinking light ahead. Slowing population growth raises questions about America as a land with unlimited horizons. Now, they go on about how bad it is for the slowing population. I want to ask you this question. If we are supposed to handle the financial burdens later on down the road in the future generations, how are we supposed to do that with less people? Because we're supposed to distribute it among, right? It's all about socialism, the distribution among everybody else. We just need to distribute all of it, right? Yeah. But yet, we're going to have less people to do that burden. Social Security is the perfect example of that. Before, it would take like 2 people to support 1 person on Social Security. Because remember, just to let you know, in case you aren't aware of this, when you pay into Social Security, you're not putting it in a nice little bank account for yourself for when you get out to start withdrawing it. You're paying for someone who's currently on the program. That's how Social Security works. So it took before, back in the 1950s, 60s, when this stuff kind of started, it really got some momentum. It was about 2 people, 2.5 people to 1 person on Social Security. Now it's 5 to 1. Meaning the value is so little with the dollar, meaning it takes so much work and there's so many people on the program, is that it takes more of the working population to support 1 person on Social Security because it's so expensive and they're living much longer, and it's so expensive that we have to have 5 workers instead of 2 to support 1 person. And with more people going on it, with the baby boomers retiring right now, it's putting a burden on the workforce. Now imagine with my generation, if I even get Social Security when I retire, imagine my generation where it's going to be like a 10 to 1 ratio, and my generation is going to be an extremely large population compared to the younger generations who are having a slower growing population size. They're going to be taking care. It's not sustainable. It's just not sustainable. Then you look at the continuous more people and more people that are on social programs, which the Democrats love. If they can hit that 51, 52, 53% threshold, they got it made, baby, because then there's going to be more people on the government dole that are voting to advocate for the continuation of these programs as opposed to the working class. There will be more people on dependency than there will be people in the workforce. That's concerning. And as we go further in the long-term progressive agenda that FDR talked about all the way back when, with these slow increments, little by little by little, they're working. And it's succeeding. And it's getting worse as the days goes on. Austin RUSE. We'll talk with him coming up after the break, talking about the packing of the Supreme Court when we come back here for a Friday on The Voice of Reason. Stay here.
The Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
Hey, it's Andy Hooser. While you listen to the delightful broadcast of The Voice of Reason, don't forget to check us out and follow us on all of our social media sites. Whether you're using Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Minds.com, or Instagram, we're there for you. Find us at Hoosier Reason on any of your social media platforms. You'll see special commentary, links to the articles and news that we use on the show, and videos of the broadcast. Plus, you can directly send us a message on social media during the show to let me know your thoughts. Many already do, and it's a great chat room for all of our great listeners. And you can always sign up for the Patreon site to get exclusive content, maybe hear show products before we air them on the radio, and a lot more. And when you support us on Patreon, you also help the show be able to fight for conservative values each and every day. So it's a win-win. Just find us at Hoosier Reason on all of your social media platforms, or you can find a link to all of our social media sites on our website at HoosierReason.com. We know you're on social media already, so bring some reason into your day. Why? Because it's kind of the reasonable thing to do.
There is way more than just the Voice of Reason. It's your source to find numerous different online talk shows, podcasts, TV, and radio programs, all in one simple online location for you. From political talk to health talk to whatever you may be interested in, we're here for you. And I tell you, it's growing every day. Catch Tracy Maxfield with her podcast, Engage, Educate, and Empower, discussing mental health issues in children and teenagers. From bullying, teenage suicide, addiction, ADHD, and so much more, learn from Tracy and her guests about symptoms, signs, and ways to talk to your children, plus so much more. Having battled depression, being the author of the internationally acclaimed book, Escaping the Rabbit Hole, and being a retired nurse, Tracy is kind of the go-to on the subject. Make sure to find her on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube, along with her website at tracymaxfield.com. Also, make sure to tune into the weekly podcast Jump, Pivot, and Roll with Shannon Stiles and Rachel Murphy. Taking that next big leap of faith is hard. Trying to write a book, maybe struggling with a relationship, looking to take that next big career step. What's stopping you? There's a lot of big questions there, and they're questions that Rachel and Shannon want to help with you each and every week. It's Jump, Pivot, and Roll on any of your favorite podcasting sites and on Facebook and YouTube. All of these shows and a heck of a lot more can be found on the Hoosier Media Network Facebook and YouTube channels. Make sure to follow and subscribe to check them out today. Follow all the shows, and if you have any inquiries, check us out at HoosierMediaNetwork@gmail.com. Hey, miss a show? Don't worry about it. You have plenty of opportunities to watch, listen, learn, and be entertained with the Voice of Reason anytime you want. And here's how you can do it. First, become a Hoosierholic by going to HoosierReason.com and signing up for the show newsletter to get the latest on the show, upcoming guests, topical discussions, and more. Next, subscribe to the podcast and have the show automatically downloaded to any platform you like to use. You can subscribe through any of your favorite platforms with iTunes and Spotify, Google Play and TuneIn, or you can also go and subscribe directly to our Podbean website. Last, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Just go to youtube.com, search Hoosier Reason, and subscribe to watch all of our shows, videos, and get notified whenever we're live. All the links and info are at HoosierReason.com.
Oh, hi. You know, conservative messages now are more important than ever before. Election season, state legislative issues, and a rise in the radical left socialist progressive agenda. What we really need now more than ever before is knowledge and wisdom. That's where we come in. Hi, I'm Andy Hooser with the Voice of Reason, and I'm your voice for reasonable talk, conservative commentary, great guests and entertainment on radio, TV, and the internet. It's time to bring some common sense back into the discussion. National issues, state legislative issues, no matter where you may be, upcoming elections, and a heck of a lot more, we can bring traditional values, constitutional principles, and local activism back. And here's what you can do. First, follow us on all the social media platforms at Hoosier Reason. You can watch the live stream of the show, leave comments, and even call into the program. Second, make sure to subscribe to the podcast on all of your audio devices, from iTunes and Spotify to Google Play and TuneIn. Make sure to subscribe to have every episode automatically downloaded so you don't miss a single episode. Third, make sure to visit our website at HoosierReason.com. You can catch our monthly blog talking about deeper discussions, see who's coming on the program, plus you can sign up for our free monthly newsletter to catch the latest on the show, monthly topics, upcoming interviews, and more. It's time to be that local activist again. That's what the Voice of Reason's all about. Why? Because that's kind of the reasonable thing to do. And it's time for you to speak up, speak out, speak loud, speak proud, speak the truth, and always speak some reason. Hey, it's Andy Hooser with the Voice of Reason. The show's growing all the time, and as we talk about the big issues of the day, one of the big parts of the program is you. And I want you to join us on the program. Whether you agree, disagree, or just want to relieve some of that political frustration, we're here for you. No matter where you may be watching, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, go ahead and leave a comment on the live stream. Chat with other listeners and let me know your thoughts on the topic. Also chat with us on the Podbean chat room. Just go to our live stream of the show at podbean.com and chat with other listeners. You can also call into the program. Just download the Podbean app onto your smartphone, join the live stream, and call in through the app. This is your show, and we want to hear your thoughts. So go ahead and join us here on the Voice of Reason and the Hooser Media Network.
When Reason Meets Radio. You're listening to the Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
Welcome back into the program. Trying to cram that 10 pounds of reason into that 5-pound bag, trying to rebrand the millennial generation, one radio listener at a time. The fastest hour of radio by far on radio and TV, plus the live streaming and the podcasting as well. All over the place. Doesn't matter where you're at watching or listening. We appreciate you so much. Austin RUSE will get on the program here hopefully soon. Wasn't able to get a hold of him during the break. It's been kind of a weird week that way, too. Some guests just having a hard time getting a hold of them, but we had some great ones. Next week, just a little teaser for you. I am excited to have on the program Bill O'Reilly of the Bill O'Reilly Report. He used to have the radio show, used to have the Fox News TV show. Now he's doing some other stuff, working on some other alternative projects. So we'll have Bill O'Reilly with his latest book. He'll be on the program, I believe, on Tuesday next week. Make sure to stay tuned in for that. That'll be kind of fun as well, plus the downloaded podcast we can find all over on any of your favorite podcasting sites as well. So we knew it was going to happen at some point. It's okay because we got plenty to talk about here. We'll try and have some fun, but I want to ask a question. You can, again, shoot me a message on the social media at Hooser Reason. Email me, HooserMediaNetwork@gmail.com. Here's my question of the day. Now that we have the no mask policy for if you've been fully vaccinated with the COVID-19 pandemic, I think it's a little dumb. I've been asking the question, and maybe you can explain it to me. How do you go from a week ago saying, no, you still need to wear a mask when you get fully vaccinated because of the breakthrough cases, because you don't know who has not gotten the vaccine? We want a higher herd immunity from the vaccine, which Joe Biden wants it at 70% by 4th of July. We're sitting at 40 to 45% right now. Not going to happen. You can't book anymore. No one wants it anymore. That's why they had to lower the age to 12. So you can be like, hey, go vaccinate your kids. Because that makes a whole lot of sense. No, it doesn't, by the way. That's being sarcastic for me personally. So now that we're getting rid of the mask because of a change in policy, voila, all of a sudden the virus does not get you if you get the vaccine. Trying to incentivize people, we will allow you, we will give you your rights back if you get the vaccine, then you can stop wearing the mask. The next question is going to be, how do you know the difference between the ones that have been fully vaccinated with the vaccine and those that haven't gotten the vaccine and don't want to wear a mask? How do you differentiate? Now, many states, including right here in the state of Kansas where I'm in right now, many states have banned the vaccination ID cards to where you can't, prove, can I see your papers, ma'am? Can I see your papers, sir? So many states are banning those. Because that's dumb and that's stupid and that's kind of crossing a line. And I think most people agree that's kind of crossing a line. So then the next question would be, is how do you know who's been vaccinated that can take off the mask and who are the dirty, slimy, filthy undesirables in society that haven't gotten vaccinated and don't want to wear a mask and are trying to spread the disease and kill people left and right? How can you tell the difference between the two? I don't know, because you have a store, you have a personal shop, you walk into it, and people are like, can I see your papers? No? Okay. Here's the next question is, what if you medically can't or you religiously don't get any vaccines at all? Maybe you're an anti-vaxxer or you just don't trust this one, or you have a medical condition where you can't get vaccines. What do you do then? What do businesses do taking this to the next level? Because I can tell you right now, it's going to cause mayhem, and they're going to try and say, well, the COVID cases are up, we need to shut down again, or they're going to try and make another excuse and say that there's other variants of the virus out there, so therefore we need to mask up again, or it's going to be seasonal, or we're just going to put it on your list, like when you get your hepatitis shot, and you get this shot, and you get that shot, and oh, by the way, we're also going to make mandate the COVID-19 vaccine with that shot as well. And then it'll be every couple of months or every 6 months or every year with the flu shot. We'll just do that one as well. Maybe we'll combine them. But we know it's coming. Because right now, people still already don't want to go back to work just because of the unemployment benefits. The other excuse they're trying to make to kind of prolong that is saying, well, I don't feel comfortable going back in society. And with the hypocrisy from the medical field and from the politicians and from the health officials all over the nation, where they're like, you don't need to wear a mask, then yes, you do need to wear a mask, and then you need to wear 2 or 3 different masks, and you still need to wear the mask after you get the virus or after you get the vaccine, and then, well, no, now you don't need to wear the mask after you get the vaccine. It's hard to keep up sometimes on exactly what direction they're going to go next, but it's fun to watch too, because it's funny how people are so gullible, they just blindly go along with it. Oh, well, we don't have to wear masks today. Okay. You only need to wear it if you're within like 10 feet of someone for like 10 minutes, or if you keep your 6 feet social distancing, you don't need to wear it. Okay. Well, no, you need to wear it all the time. Okay. Well, you're not going to get the virus if you get the vaccine. Okay. Well, you kind of could. Okay. Like sometimes can you just stop and think and just ask yourself, what am I doing here? Can you just ask yourself for just 1 second, like, wait, can we get a little bit of consistency here? I mean, let's think about it for a second with the vaccine and the mask. If it was policy last week where you needed to wear the mask after you got the vaccine and you were fully vaccinated, what has changed from then to now? And what's the incentive for the government to start saying we're going to let you unmask? It's to get more people to get the vaccine. So, oh my gosh, I don't have to worry about that anymore. I can finally just get the vaccine. Then I can take off this mask because I'm so tired of it. But I ask again, how do you know who has gotten it and who has not gotten it, and how do we start regulating that? Because you know that's going to be the next step. And while people are still concerned about going into the general populace after this virus, and they want to stay on the government dime, and they want to stay on the unemployment benefits because they're scared of going back into the workforce, so they want to try and work from home. I mean, if that's cool, but guess what? Your unemployment benefits are going to stop at some point. Oh, wait, no, they're not. Because we just extended them through September, and we're probably going to extend them again there after that because it's not quite there. That issue in that story we read earlier about the flatlining sales tax and the flatlining retail sales last month is a sign of what's to come. They saw a massive bump after a COVID stimulus payment, literally just giving people $1,400, $2,000, $3,000, depending on the size of your family, $4,000, just giving you a check and saying, here you go, sorry for your troubles during COVID, even though we're starting to open up. Of course, when you give someone a $5,000 check, what are they going to do? They're going to go and spend. So they saw a bump in there, and the media ran with it, and the Democrats ran with it, and the Biden administration ran with it. Look at how great the economy's doing. Then we see the story now for the month of April. Oh, it went down. Everybody spent the money. Now the retail sales flatline because they're out of cash again. To them, that's a decrease in the economy. It's not going back to normal and back to the normal basis here. That's a decrease in the economy. So what do we have to do? Pump it up again. We don't want to work? That's cool. We'll extend your benefits. You don't want to go back because you're concerned about mask wearing? That's cool. We'll continue your benefits. That's going to be down the road. Oh, look, the economy's not back up yet. As we go into the budget debates for the summertime, because the federal budget needs to be done August, September-ish for the new fiscal year, they're going to say the economy's not back where it needs to be yet. We need the universal basic income. We need the increase in the benefits, and we need another stimulus payment. We'll just give them the stimulus payment every single month because it's no longer a universal basic income. It's just going to be stimulus checks. But now businesses get to make their decision. How do I operate once I get back open? I can actually get employees to actually get hired. How do I do this? How do I handle this issue? Do I ask for cards? Because some legal lawyers say you have the legal right to do that. You can ask customers when they walk in, do you have a mask? No, I got vaccinated. Do you have proof of your vaccination so you can walk in here? My basic question, stepping back a little bit and just asking it again, and this is coming from someone who has not gotten the vaccine and who will not get the vaccine, is if you're protected and you have the vaccine, why do you care if I have it or not? Why do you care? But to them, that's a really big, major issue. You need to get it or you're spreading the virus. How am I spreading it if you have the vaccine? I'm just asking simple questions. Maybe a health professional will ask it. And we'll get some more on the program. We have another one coming back on the program on Monday, Dr. Steve Hooser, as you know. Now, that's a trigger warning for some. Some don't like him. Because he talks about the natural medicines and the vitamins and how bad the vaccine actually could potentially be, and to be hesitant about taking the vaccine. So I know that's a controversial doctor. We'll get other doctors on the program as well. But I just like to ask the basic, simple question. If you have it and I don't, what does it matter to you? But now businesses are going to make those decisions. From the talk show host who is starting a small side business and works for a small company business, let me ask you a question, or let me give you some advice as a business owner for you. Don't recommend or mandate someone have to either wear the mask or get the vaccination, because you're losing customers. This last year during COVID, you've been struggling. This last year during COVID, you have struggled to stay in business. Why would you divide your customer base if you had that option? Why wouldn't you just say, come on, come all, everybody come back and buy my products. Everybody come back and sit down to my restaurant. Everybody come back to the nightclub and come party again. Everybody come to my bar and have a drink. And you know what? Let's get the business going again. We'll do some promotions. We'll get the sporting events up and going again. We'll have some fun. It's going to be a great time. Why would you marginalize and be like, do you have your mask? Do you have the vaccine? Because businesses are going to now be divided like we do with other things, with Second Amendment issues, or with supporting certain sporting events based on the controversial political statements there, where now everywhere you spend your money has some type of motive behind it for some certain agenda, one way or the other. It's sad that we live in a society like that. But the reality is we do. And the reality is we need to spend our money wisely. Personally, there's certain banks I will not bank at because they don't like my guns, and there's cases of them actually shutting down bank accounts and debit cards if you try to purchase a firearm. So guess what? I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to support them. I'm not going to support certain businesses that are like, oh yeah, Colin Kaepernick's awesome and I'm going to sponsor him. I'm not going to support them. I will support a business where it's like, you know what, you can carry your concealed carry in here because we want you to be covered just in case something happens. And when we have a restaurant full of 50 people with guns, I'm pretty sure we're not going to get robbed because we feel safer. I'm going to support a business like that. It's sad we make our political decisions based on where we spend our money. I don't want it to come down to that as well, saying when I walk in the door, do you have your mask and do you have a proof of vaccination? Because you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to turn around and walk right back out that door. And I don't care if it's a major store or if it's a local mom and pop shop in the community. And that's the message that we have to really spread as we go about, because it's going to be an interesting times where the Democrats and the government are going to be desperate to hold on to the power that they've had for the last year. They don't want to let it go. So let's create another emergency, another catastrophe, another paranoia, so people keep listening to what they actually have to say.
The Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
Hey, it's Andy Hooser with the Voice of Reason. Fighting for conservative principles seems more difficult all the time. The progressive left seems to find new and creative ways to limit freedom, abuse power, and trample the Constitution each and every day. That's why we need the knowledge, resources, and common sense to push back, and we can help with that. Visit our website at HooserReason.com. There's some really great stuff for you. You can read the latest blog discussing topical issues and current events. Let us know your thoughts by filling out our monthly survey. Keep track of what I might be doing or where I may be speaking. Listen to the podcast of your favorite guest or show, and check out our latest Voice of Reason product infomercials. Plus, you can find upcoming show schedules and guest lineups to plan your radio listening appropriately. And finally, make sure to become a Hoosier-holic by subscribing to the free newsletter. Stay up to date on the latest news of the show, fun facts of the month, and learn new ways to defend and preserve this great republic. It's all there at HooserReason.com. Again, HooserReason.com. Go check it out. Why? Because it's kind of the reasonable thing to do. Miss part of the show? Don't worry about it. There's plenty of ways to catch the program, and here's how you can do it. First, make sure to tune in every day right here on your favorite radio station. We're here for you. Second, subscribe to the podcast on any of your favorite sites. YouTube and iTunes, Spotify and Google Play, TuneIn, Podbean, and more. Have the show automatically downloaded to your favorite device. Last, visit our website at HooserReason.com. You can listen to the podcast, catch our special features, and more. It's the Voice of Reason on radio, TV, and online, helping you defend and preserve this great republic. Hey, it's Andy Hooser. Want to reach out to the show? A big part of the program is you, and we want to hear from you. Let us know your thoughts of the show, maybe a guest we've had on the program, or my favorite, when you disagree with something that I talk about. You can email me at HooserMediaNetwork@gmail.com or send us a message through our website at HooserReason.com. The show's not about me, it's about you. So be heard and be your own voice of reason. Again, email me at HooserMediaNetwork@gmail.com or find our contact information at HooserReason.com. Oh, hi. You know, conservative messages now are more important than ever before. Election season, state legislative issues, and a rise in the radical left socialist progressive agenda. What we really need now more than ever before is knowledge and wisdom. That's where we come in. Hi, I'm Andy Hooser with the Voice of Reason. And I'm your voice for reasonable talk, conservative commentary, great guests and entertainment on radio, TV, and the internet. It's time to bring some common sense back into the discussion. National issues, state legislative issues, no matter where you may be, upcoming elections, and a heck of a lot more, we can bring traditional values, constitutional principles, and local activism back. And here's what you can do. First, follow us on all the social media platforms at Hooser Reason. You can watch the live stream of the show, leave comments, and even call into the program. Second, make sure to subscribe to the podcast on all of your audio devices, from iTunes and Spotify to Google Play and TuneIn. Make sure to subscribe to have every episode automatically downloaded so you don't miss a single episode. Third, make sure to visit our website at HooserReason.com. You can catch our monthly blog talking about deeper discussions, see who's coming on the program, plus you can sign up for our free monthly newsletter to catch the latest on the show, monthly topics, upcoming interviews, and more. It's time to be that local activist again. That's what the Voice of Reason's all about. Why? Because that's kind of the reasonable thing to do. And it's time for you to speak up, speak out, speak loud, speak proud, speak the truth, and always speak some reason. Hey, miss a show? Don't worry about it. You have plenty of opportunities to watch, listen, learn, and be entertained with the Voice of Reason anytime you want. And here's how you can do it. First, become a Hooserholic by going to HooserReason.com and signing up for the show newsletter to get the latest on the show, upcoming guests, topical discussions, and more. Next, subscribe to the podcast and have the show automatically downloaded to any platform you like to use. You can subscribe through any of your favorite platforms with iTunes and Spotify, Google Play and TuneIn, or you can also go and subscribe directly to our Podbean website. Last, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Just go to youtube.com, search Hooser Reason, and subscribe to watch all of our shows, videos, and get notified whenever we're live. All the links and info are at HooserReason.com. Hey, I hope you're enjoying the program today. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast on any of your favorite podcasting sites and have the show automatically downloaded to your phone or computer every single day. Just find us on any podcasting site or go to HooserReason.podbean.com. And be sure to check out our Patreon site, become the ultimate Hooserholic, and help us fight for conservative values every day. Why? Because it's kind of the reasonable thing to do. Now back to the national broadcast of the Voice of Reason.
You're listening to the Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
Welcome back into the program. Last segment, it goes by way too fast, and we've had a lot of fun. By the way, just to let you know, I had the pleasure of filling in for the great Mark Walters on Armed American Radio today. We did that show just before this program, so 2 shows back to back. We love it, and it's a lot of fun as he's all over the country as well with his program. We're growing all over the country on this program, and we're just having way too much fun on the radio today, trying to keep it somewhat lighthearted, but I tell you, there's some, again, I'm at that level right now where I'm kind of on the low of, is humanity ever going to learn a lesson and actually progress here, or are we just learning how to tie our shoes again? I don't know. We see people with grocery bags full of gasoline over on the East Coast. We have people thinking that inflation's a really good thing. We have people just blindly listening to the government about COVID stuff, about you can now not wear your mask if you got vaccinated because that wasn't okay last week, but it's okay this week. The virus changed. It changed and it adapted. Now you're completely safe. You don't have to worry about it. I will say, though, I have to laugh a little bit. Yesterday, we did our tribute to the Republican Party, which I very rarely do because I'm more critical about, kind of like your own kids, where you're more critical if you're a coach for like a softball or baseball team, which I may be this year. Little Voice of Reason for the first year might be doing T-ball, and I might be a coach on it. I'm super excited about that. I mean, I have looked to that time for a long time. I played baseball all through Little League, all the way up through high school, ended up not playing much in high school, and kind of phased away from it. But I played baseball. That was my life, all my childhood. Every summer, that was it, baby, was baseball. Now, I could be coaching a Little Voice of Reason softball team or baseball team. I think this year they're going to do a co-ed thing, but super excited about that. But if you know some of the parents like that do coach, a lot of them, like my parents, they were harder on me than they were the rest of the team because they want to make sure that you're going to be up to that par because they didn't want to look like they were the ones just putting you into certain positions. I've seen coaches like that as well that I played on. Oh, you're terrible? Go ahead and be the pitcher because I'm the dad and I'm going to put you in there because my son's going to be the star pitcher on this team. You know those people. You know it. You've seen it. But like me, I would be harder on my daughter than anybody else because I want to make sure that she's at that level. So when we do put her in certain positions, people are like, oh, they're just putting her in there because, you know, her dad coaches. You don't want to do that. So just like in that same mentality, I use that philosophy with the Republican Party. I'm Republican. I'm conservative first, but I'm Republican. I'm going to be tougher on the Republican Party because we hold an extremely high standard for ourselves. We're a party of limited government. We're a party of lower taxes. We're a party of limited government overall. We're a party of getting rid of regulations. We're a party of individual liberty. We're a party of free market, laissez-faire, capitalist, economic styles. That's what we do. The invisible hand with Adam Smith, baby. That's what we're all about. So we need to be hard on ourselves. And I praise the Republican Party for getting rid of Liz Cheney out of leadership yesterday after that announcement came out. And we put in the new congresswoman who's going to be the leader, who's a quote-unquote Trump loyalist, according to CNBC, as a Trump loyalist they put in as leadership. I don't care who she is. It's just better than Liz Cheney if she makes the better decisions because we're going to clean ourselves up in that manner. At the same time, there are the rabble-rousers in the party as well that some like and I find entertaining. She has yet to quite cross the line where I don't like her, but I find it kind of a little bit of, but at the same time, she's doing it against Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, so I have a hard time being mad at her. If it was anybody else and it was someone who's maybe a little more respected, then I'd be like, you really don't want to do that because it's unprofessional, kind of cheesy. But the fact that she's doing it against Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, I'm kind of okay with, got to be honest. But Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene, as you know, has been going after, tried to say that she was going to debate AOC on the Green New Deal. That never happened. Then a couple of days ago, the confrontation in the hallway that we had talked about that AOC's people said where she was very upset about. We need more security. We need a safe space in these hallways for elected officials to actually get together. Well, part of it apparently was Marjorie Taylor Greene going to AOC's office in the congressional chambers and opening up the envelope slip in the door and yelling, get rid of your diaper, stop being a baby, and stop locking your door and come out and face the American citizens that you serve. Like opening up the envelope letter and shouting that because she was hiding in her office and locked the door. Now, AOC's definitely one to where if anything triggers her in any way, shape, or form, that she goes and hides in her office and locks the door so no one can actually come in. And, so again, if it was a respectable elected official, I'd be like, that's pushing the limit. That's really unprofessional. It's really uncalled for. Let's back it off and dial it down a little bit. But against AOC, kind of okay with it. I wonder if anybody's yelled out there and actually given her the definition of what a garbage disposal is. I'm just asking questions. But Marjorie Taylor Greene, just not caring. Hashtag just don't care. Kind of like the hashtag Trump don't care. That's really where we're at with some of the members there. And I get it. I understand it. They're fired up. They're upset. And they don't want to play niceties anymore because you get the little AOCs that just like to go hide in their office and run away when they do something really, really dumb. That does it for us today. Podcast up in a little bit. We're back at it on Monday. Until then, this is The Voice of Reason. I'm Andy Hooser. Everybody have a wonderful weekend. Hey, it's Andy Hooser. While you listen to the delightful broadcast of The Voice of Reason, don't forget to check us out and follow us on all of our social media sites. Whether you're using Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Minds.com, or Instagram, we're there for you. Find us at Hooser Reason on any of your social media platforms. You'll see special commentary, links to the articles and news that we use on the show, and videos of the broadcast. Plus, you can directly send us a message on social media during the show to let me know your thoughts. Many already do, and it's a great chat room for all of our great listeners. And you can always sign up for the Patreon site to get exclusive content, maybe hear show products before we air them on the radio, and a lot more. And when you support us on Patreon, you also help the show be able to fight for conservative values each and every day. So it's a win-win. Just find us at Hooser Reason on all of your social media platforms, or you can find a link to all of our social media sites on our website at HooserReason.com. We know you're on